Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and in today's video, I'm going to give you a year update of our smoke filtration system that I've installed inside this studio. Now, everyone that watches this channel knows that one of my great pleasures in life is to enjoy a nice cigar. And living in Texas, I feel as though there is no more luxurious place to smoke than indoors. Here in the United States, so often, if you're smoking a cigar, you're pushed outside. And in Texas, that means either the extreme heat and mosquitoes of the summertime or the extreme cold in the wintertime. The number of truly beautiful, cool, pleasant days or evenings where one can go outside and smoke really are numbered. And so if you want to enjoy a cigar just in a nice environment, the best place to do that is inside. Many of you know that whenever I bought this warehouse and we rebuilt this studio, I set out on an experiment to see if I could design and build a smoke filtration system that not only would allow me to smoke inside without bothering any of the staff, but would also allow us to smoke on set while filming without having any noise interference that you normally get from a smoke filtration system. The problem with most smoke filtration systems is really twofold. One is, the reality is that the majority of the smoke filtration systems out there are just ineffectual. They don't do a great job filtering the smoke. You still get lingering odors. And if you have a large room with several people smoking, it just doesn't do the job. It just doesn't cut it to really clear the smoke. The second problem is that the majority of all the smoke filtration systems out there are loud. In order for them to be effective, they have to be running on high, and that means that you have the sound of the motor running in whatever environment you're smoking. And that just creates for unpleasant background noise. Now, if this is at home, maybe you can just kind of, write that off and allow it not to bother you. But here in this studio, we need clean, quiet background noise so that we don't have any interference to our audio. And that means that we can't have a smoke filtration system running in the background. So it was with that, and to be honest, a few years of kind of tinkering with this in the back of my mind, that I was able to connect with the guys from Camfil, which is an industrial air filtration company. Now this company, Camfil, is incredible. They are in the business of probably one of the largest manufacturers of air filters in the world, and is really a leading industrial expert in air filtration systems. So the type of projects that they're working on far exceed the scope of this studio. I mean, they're building out air filtration systems for Amazon servers, server farms, or for DFW Airport, or food manufacturing plants. I mean, massive industrial projects. But what I like about that, it means that they're really on the cutting edge of air filtration. So I connected with them and was able to, find a product that they make called the CamCleaner, which is an industrial filtration unit that is able to run at 2,000 cubic feet a minute and is able to scrub both the particles through, I think it's a MERV 13 filter, it's a bag filter, and then also all of the odors through 125 pounds of carbon, which anyone that's done their research in terms of air filtration knows you're lucky if you get 5 pounds of carbon. I mean, something like a rabbit air hardly has any carbon in it, and it's the carbon that removes the odors. So the fact that this thing is able to have 125 pounds of carbon is incredible, and it's overkill. So the question at the end of the day is, was it worth it? So I've had a year now of using this air filtration system in this office, and I have to tell you that this has been one of my great pleasures of building out this warehouse, was able to actually integrate this filtration system into my studio. It was no question expensive, pushing $20,000 with all the ductwork and installation and everything else, which is not an insignificant sum of money. But I have to say that it brings me pleasure so frequently. To be able to smoke in this office, to turn the air filtration system on, and to have it work exactly how it was designed, and honestly work better than it was designed, really has just brought me a lot of joy. Being able to smoke in this office, not have to go outside, not bother any of my employees, to be able to film on set while smoking with no noise interference has really been absolutely incredible. And I have to say, The filtration system, because it's ducted in, runs exceptionally quiet, and I could have 5 people smoking in this room, and there would be no visible smoke, no residual odor. It is an incredibly effective system that does exactly what it was designed to do. Now, one of the other things that we're going to do in this video is answer the question of how long does the carbon work? So activated carbon is what removes the odors or the gases from the air as it passes through the filter. And there is a lifetime on these units, right? And so 125 pounds of carbon, they come in these large cylinders. I think there's 12 cylinders in the unit itself. No question, to replace all the units is pushing $1,500 or $2,000, right? So it's not an insignificant amount of money, so you don't want to replace those more often than you have to. Now, one of the other great things about Camfil, being an industrial company on the scale that they are, is that they're actually able to take these carbon canisters and run them through what is called a butane test to effectively determine what the effective lifespan is on those canisters remaining. So one of the things that we're gonna do here in a bit is we're gonna go into the room where this air filtration unit sits. I'm going to remove 2 of the carbon canisters, replace them with new ones, and then we're gonna send those old units off to Camfil to be tested to see how much is left in these. How much lifetime. So this will determine whether or not they need to be replaced or whether or not they still have enough lifespan left on them to continue to do their job effectively. And so that'll determine whether or not they need to be replaced now or whether or not I can replace them later. So that is the update, of course. Let me know if you have any questions about the filtration system in the comment sections below. Interestingly enough, I was speaking with my Camfil rep just before I started this video, Jason Stringer. He was saying that he's got another client that just reached out to them based off of our videos to install one of these in his man cave, his garage, where he wants to be able to kind of smoke and work at the same time. So it's great to see that these units are being popularized because it's so effective. Camfil is incredibly professional, and to be honest, these units are more effective than what I've seen in most cigar lounges. And so I just feel like more people should know about these units because they are incredibly effective at what they do, and it's more effective than what I feel like is otherwise marketed to the cigar community. So there we go, that's the 1-year update. Of course, you've all seen videos of us smoking here on set, so you know that it works, you know that it's quiet. But let's go out into the warehouse and switch these units out. I'll kind of open the unit up for you to see inside, and then we'll test it and see how much is left on these filtration units. All right, so here we are. This is the kind of auxiliary room, if you will, where we keep the smoke filtration system. I love this thing. As you can see, it is massive. And the special thing about having it in here is that it's offset several walls over. We're able to duct it in. And so any of the fan noise from this smoke filtration system, you don't hear it actually in the studio. That's what makes it quiet. This unit, whenever it's on, is honestly just as loud as any other smoke filtration unit or really anything else that has a motor. It is merely the duct work and having it offset from the room that basically prevents that noise from being in that other room, where we're enjoying the cigar. So this is it. As you can see, there's 2 different doors. The front one is where the bag filter exists. It's a MERV 11 or MERV 13 filter that pulls out all the particles. It's a super high capacity bag filter. I'll be surprised if I ever have to change that thing. And then in the middle compartment, we've got these 12 carbon canisters, each with 10 or 15 pounds of carbon. And that is what pulls out all of the odors. Now, as I mentioned earlier, carbon has a half-life, if you will. It has a useful life, and so it's going to degrade over time, and then also as it's used. So what we're doing today is we had Camfil. They sent us some new carbon canisters. And you can see them right here. So these things are massive. Again, these things, are absolutely incredible. I love them. I don't know how much carbon's in each one, but it's easily 10 or 15 pounds. And there's 12 of those units in there. And so you know, naturally, I don't want to replace these if I don't need to. And one of the benefits of Camfil is that as an industrial company, you know, they've got the labs to actually do the scientific testing to determine what the remaining useful life is on these. So you have to test a minimum of 2. So I'm going to pull 2 out, replace them with these, and then I'm going to send the old ones to Camfil to be tested through what they call a butane test. I have no idea what that is or how it works, but it allows them to determine the useful life that's left in these canisters. And so it'll be a good first test to see, you know, really how much lifetime do we get to the carbon canisters in this unit under normal use. So I'm going to pull up a ladder. I'm going to climb up there. We'll film it. You can kind of see me doing the work. I'll pull 2 of those canisters out and then put these 2 in there. And there we go. We'll send the other ones back to Camfil and see what they have to say. Okay, so here we are. This is the second compartment of the cam cleaner, as they call it. The first one being the bag filters, the second one being these carbon canisters. And you know, it's really quite smart. These things just simply twist into place, so they're, you know, actually very easy to remove. So I'm gonna take this one down. We'll bring the replacement up. Make sure that's mounted. There we go. And then the second one down. So there you go. I'm just going to check the mounting. Yep. Good. All right, so swing this closed. Again, what I love about this unit is that despite its size, it's actually really easy to work with. This is the control unit. It's got a variable fan motor. It's rated to 2,000 cubic feet a minute. I've got it down rated to 1,500 because, you know, 2,000 was like overkill. Again, which is what I really like about this, is the fact that because it's an industrial design, it is really over-specced for how I'm using it, which just guarantees that it works flawlessly. So there we go. This is the unit. We're going to send those 2 carbon canisters off to Camfil and see what they have to say. Anyway, I'm Kirby Allison, and as you know, I love to help the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes while exploring the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video.